The mutant condition forces a sudden, violent physiological rewrite upon the human body, triggering widespread panic and intense physical trauma. This physiological shock drives intense internal shame. We see this firsthand when a young Warren Worthington II locks himself in a bathroom, aggressively taking a blade to his own back to scrape away the newly grown feathers of his wings. When a demographic is terrified of its own biology, and the surrounding human population is terrified of the resulting fallout, the entire social ecosystem destabilizes. The public demands a permanent intervention. Worthington Labs answers this demand by announcing a synthesized biological inoculation. Sourced from the unique genetics of a single mutant boy named Jimmy, the lab markets a voluntary, permanent erasure of mutant abilities. This serum binds to the X gene sequence, aggressively breaking the anomaly down until the host's DNA reverts to a baseline. But Xavier had engineered a parallel approach years earlier, building a psychic architecture inside Jean Grey's mind, trapping that raw energy behind artificial cognitive walls. Worthington Labs uses a chemical serum to strip away physical mutations, while Xavier used telepathy to censor a mind. While the methods differ, both aim to stabilize the world by silencing the specific traits that make it volatile. Society and mutant leadership alike confuse the containment of power with the achievement of peace. By building cages around symptoms rather than addressing the cause, both sides create a scenario where any failure of containment becomes catastrophic. Magneto immediately recognizes the political reality of the Worthington serum. He argues that a state-sanctioned method to erase a minority group will never remain voluntary, viewing the cure as an active weapon of extermination. He rapidly mobilizes a militant response, reforming his brotherhood to ambush mobile prison transports. His radicalization is absolute. When his loyal lieutenant, Mystique, intercepts a cure dart meant for him and loses her abilities, Magneto abandons her without hesitation. At the exact same time, the private psychological cage shatters. Following Jean Grey's sacrifice at Alkali Lake, Xavier's telepathic dams finally collapse, allowing the repressed Phoenix entity to take full control of her host. The unleashed Phoenix immediately kills Cyclops, and then turns her devastating power on Xavier, completely disintegrating him into ash. The attempt to force compliance resulted in the two things society feared most: a militant mutant army and an uncontrollable godlike entity with no moral restraint. This tactical map highlights the convergence on Alcatraz Island. Magneto's forces launch a direct assault to execute the mutant boy and destroy the cure's source, while military units and the remaining X-Men converge on the central laboratory to stop them. Magneto's campaign ends on the battlefield when Wolverine provides a distraction. This allows Hank McCoy to inject the rebel leader with the specific chemical suppressant he spent months trying to destroy. With Magneto neutralized, the psychological failure takes center stage. The Phoenix begins a massive telekinetic annihilation of Alcatraz, tearing apart soldiers, mutants, and infrastructure with zero ideological preference. Her destruction bypasses the physical defenses of every faction. The military and the X-Men are powerless to get near her. The final failsafe relies entirely on Wolverine's adamantium skeleton and rapid cellular regeneration, allowing him to push through the telekinetic flaying just long enough to grant Jean a swift, fatal mercy. The conflict was only halted through the forced medical sterilization of a political rival and the execution of a victim. These events suggest that when suppression fails, the system relies on total violence to regain control. In the immediate aftermath, the social order stabilizes. The United States government formally secures mutant rights, appoints Hank McCoy as a United Nations ambassador, and Xavier's school continues to operate under Storm's leadership. Some mutants willingly choose to assimilate into this baseline. Rogue, exhausted by the lethal nature of her skin, voluntarily accepts the biological serum so she can finally experience physical intimacy with Iceman. On paper, the mechanics of control appear successful. The radical militant threat is neutralized, the godlike entity is dead, and the population remains compliant. But as a supposedly human Magneto gestures at a chessboard in a San Francisco park, a heavy metal piece wobbles slightly. Similarly, the physical death of Charles Xavier was not the end of his psychic footprint. Miles away, a doctor checks on a brain-dead, comatose patient, only to be greeted by Xavier's distinct voice speaking through the man's vocal cords. Nature consistently rejects the cages built for it. Whether through chemical serums or physical death, the raw genetic reality of mutation remains, waiting for the right moment to surface again.
And that's how the incredible story comes to an end. Every decision, every sacrifice, and every battle led to this unforgettable finale. If you enjoyed this movie recap, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more detailed movie explanations and cinematic story recaps. Also, hit the notification bell so you'll be the first to know whenever we upload a new video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next movie recap.